You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Get It Right Texoma. We are the trio. I'm Terry.
And I'm Trey.
And that's Trey. And I got some echoing or something happening over here, but that's okay. Anyway, as always, we have our friend and podcast partner, Mike, up here overlooking us and keeping an eye on us and keeping us straight.
Man,
going.
you know, I miss that guy. I really do.
I know.
I was doing some shorts recently, and I pulled up some of our old archive stuff to do some shorts. And it just, you know, it's like when somebody goes away that you're close to, it's one of those deals. It's like getting time off heals everything, and you think about things, but something specific happens or things that we do. And this is a time every Friday morning because we're kind of used to used to being together for so long that But
I
anyway,
know. Hey, but tell you what,
life goes on.
And by the way, we're live. As if you're watching us now, you know that, and we
we
live
usually
stream
go every Friday morning. Live stream every Friday morning, usually live. At 7:30 on Facebook and on YouTube with local happenings, interesting topics, and generally some pretty cool guests here and there.
Okay, and then we've got, speaking of guests and all of that, we've got
Dwayne Jackson.
we got him going to show up.
Owner of Wichita Theater.
Yeah, he's the old. Which, if you're from here, you'd know about it,
right?
For sure. And if you've been here a while, you'd know about it.
But if you're not from here and you don't know about it, he'll be here to tell all about it.
Absolutely. So, all right. So, please chime in on both Facebook and YouTube. You can actually go into the comments, and I can see them right here on the. Y'all can't see this off screen. Here is a monitor with the computer, and I can actually interact with you and take.
You talk about
questions.
a serious computer guy. He's got three monitors. He's got a laptop, a monitor.
Yep.
Phone.
Yep, I can go. I can even do if I wanted to. I could do a live. I could show you the whole studio. Maybe we'll do a tour one time. Real quick.
And by the way, Terry, where could somebody get such a library
get some
here?
technology that helps you do all this? Yeah, MacTech Solutions, and we are one of the sponsors.
Where's that, Terry?
Right here at 4020 Ray Road in Wichita Falls, in Finishing Touch Plaza. And then also we have Eddie Hill's Fun Cycles, and this guy here knows a little bit about motorcycles and lawnmowers and all that.
Side by side.
And they fix your stuff. They just like we do. We fix your Apple stuff. We sell it. They sell and service everything they sell.
Right.
And that's
we're not like the big box stores where you go buy something like a lawnmower from a Lowe's or a Home Depot. And I'm not knocking Lowe's and Home Depot. I shop a lot there.
Absolutely.
But we're not like a big box store where you go buy it and now it's up to you to figure out how to fix it.
That's right. So we're here and live and local here in the in our business, and but otherwise, let's get after it. This is Get It Right Texoma. So we have on our
local
feature
restaurant folks.
As our local restaurant feature. It's called. We're going to do Gidgets. I'll let you talk about it while I
Gidget
bring
Sandwich
it up.
Shack, which is downtown Wichita Falls. If you've ever heard of the world's smallest skyscraper, it's right next to the world's smallest skyscraper. It's on 7th, I believe. And been there a long time. Actually, it's a historic building. I believe that was the First National Bank building or whatever.
Okay.
Where a robber, I believe that's the building where some robbers killed a teller. And then those robbers were hung.
Wow.
Subsequently, I believe that is the building that happened in years and years ago.
Wow. Well, that's,
but Gidgets is a great place. They have great food. Of course, they have sandwiches, like they say, all kinds of interesting sandwiches, sandwich combinations. I think the BLT is my favorite.
BLT. Okay, I haven't been there in a while. I've been there, but it's just been a while.
And they have chips. They have salads. They have drinks.
Okay.
It's kind of it's a really cool place. You go in there and the tables and chairs are looks like everything was from a yard sale.
Okay.
They have big tables and little tables and different chairs and all kinds of stuff. But it's a neat place. They've been there a long time. They make great food. Really nice people.
Yeah.
They've been featured on the Texas Bucket List several times.
Okay. Ooh, what's that right there? That looks good.
I don't know what that is, but that looks good. I've never.
Yes or no? They're asking. 4 days ago, and if you know,
some sort of beef.
Looks like brisket, maybe,
Yeah.
and cheese, and looks good though.
Looks awful good. But Gidget Sandwich Shack, go check them out. And then their hours are
the hours. If they're on here, like usually go to about, and let's see, opening soon. And so apparently Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. So
they probably have breakfast stuff. I didn't know. I've never been there for breakfast.
Yeah,
so I need to try that out sometime. But they're on the corner of 7th and Ohio, I believe.
7th, okay.
I know they're on Ohio Street, and I believe it's 7th and Ohio.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
But go check them out. They've got a pretty good-sized parking lot. When you first drive up, you go, oh, there's not going to be a place to park. But they've got parking in front of them. They've got parking on the side, and they have parking around. Right. They have a kind of a back area.
And watch out for the paid parking that's been. Did you hear about all this?
I've heard about it, but I haven't.
Yeah, that's something we probably. I don't know if we'll be able to talk about it. Maybe we can squeeze that in, but just.
If not, maybe we'll do it next week. Let me do some research because I haven't. I heard a little bit about it. I don't know.
I've
private
been
parking lots.
Yes, they are private parking lots.
Then who cares? That's your business.
I know. But
I got nothing to say about it. Don't park there. No, seriously, it's a private business. If you own a piece of property, it's your property.
I understand. I understand it. I'm not advocating for doing anything other than that, but just something that
bitching a bitch. I mean, if it's city, I agree. If it's city-owned property, no, I'm absolutely against city-owned property being paid parking. Yeah. But if a private person owns a parking lot, owns it, they have a right to do what they want. They can put a barrier up. They can put a barbed wire fence around some bitch and tell you can't go in.
Barbed wire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barbed wire.
Well, anyway.
It's actually barbed wire.
Yes,
but you hear so many people call it barbed wire.
Well, you're from,
like it's B-O-B.
That's it.
B-A-R-B.
Well, anyway, I think it has made a big deal on both the news and social media. It's whether we agree with it or not, it's just interesting to talk about. It's definitely an exercise in watching people react to things.
Well, it is, but it goes back to, and I've heard some businesses complain about it. It's like, well, you should have bought the parking lot.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
You probably had an opportunity to buy
if you had thought of it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, no, I get it, and that's what I say. I just think it's interesting on both sides. So anyway,
we didn't end up talking about it.
I know.
I just didn't know if it was. I heard about it yesterday briefly. By the way, did something pretty cool last night.
Who's that?
I did something pretty cool.
What'd you do?
Night.
What was that?
The Apollo 13, the movie, it's the 30th anniversary. They did a re-release in IMAX.
Oh, okay.
And I drove down to Grapevine and saw Apollo 13 in IMAX.
Oh, wow.
It is badass.
Okay. I have to check that out.
If you have a chance to go do it, well, I mean, you got to go to an IMAX theater, so you can't do it here in town.
No.
But it's a little bit of a commitment, but it is. It's like seeing. I saw The Wizard of Oz on the big screen one time too, a remastered, and it's amazing the things you see that I know. Apollo 13 is one of my favorite movies. I've probably seen it a dozen times.
Was this the one? Now I saw a documentary on TV somewhere that was talking about the remake of The Wizard of Oz, and they actually used AI to like the regular. Original.
Oh no, the one I saw was years ago. There was no AI. This was before AI.
Okay. Well,
but the Apollo 13, this was the actual movie.
Right.
But it was originally shot in IMAX as well. But I don't know that it was shot in regular in IMAX.
Okay.
So I don't know that it was ever released in IMAX.
Okay.
And so it's all. And let me tell you, you talk about when that rocket's taking off, and with the IMAX sound, and it's vibrating. The seats are vibrating, and it's not on. It's not like they have vibrating seats. It's just the whole theater is vibrating.
Oh yeah, well
they've got so much going on.
They got a little bit of bass going on there. Yeah. But I saw at the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History, they have an IMAX theater, and it was during the heyday of still going on with the shuttle, and they had one of the shuttle launches all part of this one. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's amazing. So,
if you ever get to go to Cape Kennedy, Florida, you can actually go and stand in one of the places, the command centers, for a launch, and they play the actual audio from I don't remember which Apollo mission it was, but one of the Apollo missions, and you could watch the computers, you could hear all the ECOM go, flight go, this and that, and everything, but that thing when it starts shaking, it vibrates.
Pretty cool. All right, well, so you can do that down in Dallas there. Check it out. So, all right, we got the 94th annual Clay County Pioneer Reunion. It's tonight and tomorrow.
Right, they started yesterday.
Right.
On Thursday, and then run tonight and tomorrow.
And they had when's the Navy playing? They played in town. The Navy band, one of the Navy bands, played in town, I think, last night, or somewhere, and then they're going to play, I think, tomorrow as well, tomorrow afternoon or something. So go check it out. They've got a website and everything. I guess that's ccpr1932.com.
That's right, and it's Clay County, and it's in Henrietta.
Right.
So if you're not familiar with Wichita Falls or you're close by, it's only about 30 minutes away.
Yeah. Go out and check it out. And who doesn't like tacos?
Taco Fest, baby.
Taco Fest, September 20th.
Tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. Also, starting at 4 and through the evening, there's going to be bands and there's all kinds of stuff. There is an admission fee, right, just to get in.
Correct.
And a small, $5?
I think it's $5.
Yeah, something like that. And just go in.
But there's food vendors, there's dancers, there's bands, there's a lot of entertainment, and all the money, the proceeds. It's not like Zavala's taking the $5 and sticking it in their pocket. The Zavala, the Hispanic Cultural Society Zavala locally, they do scholarships.
Yep.
And that's what all this money goes to. That's what Taco Fest raises money for scholarships. We had Roger Palma in here a few weeks ago and talked to us all about Zavala and Taco Fest.
There it is.
And it's downtown at Bud Daniels Park, I believe.
All right.
So go check it out. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it one last time because we're about done announcing this, obviously. It's one of those events in Wichita Falls you will bump into so many people that you know that you don't see on a regular basis, you don't talk to on a regular basis, and it's a great time to catch up. Hey, how you doing?
It's a community event.
I hadn't seen you since last year's Taco Fest or since the Pancake Festival.
And you don't even just go enjoy it. And oh, by the way, somebody's benefiting. Some good people, kids getting some scholarships, everything. I mean, come on,
you can't beat it.
Again, tacos.
So. And there's all kinds of tacos. If you want your traditional ground beef, if you want birria, if you want chorizo, if you whatever you want, chicken, steak, pork, asado, gusada.
Yeah. Surely they didn't limit it only to tacos.
No, I'm sure there's everything.
Yeah, I'm sure they. So
I'm going for the tacos.
All right. Then those are the two big things going on this weekend, and now get into the news. So.
You had a pretty strong opinion about this when it was first announced that it could be happening.
Yeah.
And the week after it happened, and then last week we got so busy with, there was a lot going on last week, so we didn't get the chance to talk to it. So wanted to revisit it.
The president did an executive order renaming the Department of Defense as the Department of War.
Which it never was called the Department of War.
No, it was the War Department. And then actually just this interesting that they did it this week, I guess, because September 18th, 1947, the National Security Act of 1947 was what spun off the Air Force into its own department and ultimately renamed the Department of Defense, the War Department to the Department of Defense. And so a few weeks ago, the president said, let's going to rename it. Well, they've done it, but they haven't. It's not in law. It's a secondary name. Congress, and he's obviously recognized this, and he's encouraged Congress to rename it in the executive order. So it's one of those things that I don't think it's smart. I don't see the point of it. And but what's the old saying about the best defense is or is it the other way?
The best offense is a good defense.
Well, there you go, and that's what. So we if we need to be offensive, which we will be.
There are countries that believe, like Iran, that believe the best defense is a good offense.
Right.
That's not.
Right. No. We just need to show our force, show that we are capable, such that nobody's want to mess with us.
Absolutely.
That just the idea that we are so strong, and that's what we do. We decimate. If you cause us to go after you, you're going to wish you hadn't. And that's really our deterrent factor. And that's why the show of strength through peace is what SACS.
Peace, truth, strength.
I'm sorry, strength through peace. Yeah, peace through strength of Strategic Air Command back in the day. And yes, they're no longer around, unfortunately. SAC was the bomb, man. No pun intended.
That was funny, actually.
I didn't plan that one, but anyway, it was a big deal. I lived through the Cold War in the military, not the whole thing, but the end of it. I saw it.
You lived through the Cold War. You were born in the Cold War.
Yeah.
You saw the You think about it, Terry. You have a pretty interesting perspective because you were born in the Cold War.
Yep.
And it was hot and heavy. It was about as hot as it ever got when you were younger.
Yep.
And then you joined the military still during the Cold War.
Right.
And joined the
first half of my career essentially was during the Cold War.
Yeah.
And the second half was after, which again, I'm glad all of that happened, although we've got a different threat now. I mean, it's still terrorism is there, and even internal. Unfortunately, that's what we saw with Charlie Kirk and everything. There's that if you think about it, that was an active.
There was a school shooting.
Right, the school shooting as well. All of that is, to me, is a terroristic thing. Now, some people get a little bit bent out of shape calling that domestic terrorism, but I don't. Yes, it's a small thing, but look how many people were affected. How many people were there at his shooting, and in all the schools, all that happened, and it's not the guns themselves. And
guns never picked itself up.
Exactly. So it's an attitude. It's a way. To some extent, it's become a way of life of certain people. And I can't. We can do what we can, and we have some mental health issues. We all admit that. And there's a lot of blame to try to throw around, but it doesn't matter to blame. Let's fix the problem. Even in Wichita County or Wichita Falls, we've just recently had a new board for homeless.
Yeah, and Austin Cobb is going to be on with us. He's a city councilor, and he'll be on us with us in a couple of weeks, and he's on that board.
And as we all, I think the statistics show that a great number of the homeless folks have mental health issues.
Well, of course, yeah. Most people that are homeless are not somebody who lost their job at the factory, because the fact is, it goes back to, and I've said this 8,000 times, if tomorrow you woke up and everything you had was gone, you would not spend one day on the streets.
Right.
Because you have done so much. You've never burned people.
Right.
And you've done so much for so many people. You would have people coming out of the woodworks telling you, hey, Terry, stay at my house. Stay in my guest room. Stay on my couch.
Right.
Stay in my annex. Stay in my garage. Do something. There'd be so many people. I'm the same way. Most people we know, if you've not burned everybody in your life, chances are you're never going to spend the night on the streets.
Right.
But if you have lost your job, lost your this, lost your that, and you've burned everybody in your life,
that's hard. Yeah, then
that's how most people end up on the streets.
Well, and theoretically, you should help people anyway, but we don't. But people don't have to.
Well, but you can only help people so much.
Right.
It's
exactly.
like the
you got to help yourself.
The Faith Mission is there, and the Faith Refuge is there, but you can't go in there and be stoned and drunk.
Right.
Or get into fights and stuff. So that's the thing. There are rules. So, yes, there are places for you to go. There are places you can get a meal.
Right.
But there's rules that are around that, and they have to be there.
Right. Well, back on, but anyway, the Cold War, how I haven't got on that. The Cold War, we lived through that, and the DOD it was because of the strength of our defense that did that. The fact that we were so capable. And Reagan, I got to give him credit for coming in and we spent a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we basically outspent the Russians.
Right.
They recognized that the people in charge, Reagan, and it wasn't just Ronald Reagan, it was his advisors. They realized that Russia was on the back foot when it comes to money. Yep. And we just had to outspend them. And that's what we did.
So we did, and that all kind of, but again, opened up a whole other thing. But in any case, I don't agree with the change of the Department of Defense, and we still have a chance to some extent, I guess Congress could override that.
There's no override; they could just not codify it.
Well, right, but they could override it's a secondary name. Surely they can do that.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if they can or not.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't do us any favors.
I don't like it from a money standpoint.
Well,
I'm one of those people that I don't care what you call it, honestly. But I don't want to change the letterhead. I don't want to change the signs.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. You say yeah. But that's $20 million, and I get so tired of people saying, and I'm throwing that number out there. I get so tired of people saying that's a drop in the bucket. Okay, every drop in the bucket counts.
Right, but it's both are true. Right. I don't. I
agree.
agree. I absolutely agree. There's no sense in it. But it's if there's some benefit to renaming something.
Yeah,
then,
but it's
then,
not.
Right. Exactly. It's to me. It's just the fact that it does not even need it. And
it's not going to get. It's not going to make your people any tougher. It's not going to make. It's not going to make you fight wars better.
Right.
It's like, what is the mission?
Right.
Is changing the name make you going to fight wars better?
No.
Is it going to make you more money?
No.
Is it going to make you better? No.
And I do agree to the extent of one of the points of the critics of this, and it's not my main point, but I do think that it does send a message of kind of the wrong side, the connotation and all of that.
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think you're an idiot if you think we're going to start killing people more because
No. I don't think
So.
that's the case. No, I don't. I'm saying that just the view of things. It's just one other little notch for people to. And again, they're going to respect this as long as we maintain that strength and we do maintain a sense of ethics when it comes to war.
But what I'm saying is the average person that lives in another country doesn't give a shit.
No, it's the
they
government.
don't know. We're wrapped up in it because it's our stuff.
Yeah.
What everybody needs to realize is things that are very important to you or your community or your tribe or whatever mean bubkiss to most people in the world.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. They're worried about their life. They're worried about their things, the things that promote them. I've told people for years, when I realized at a very early age that nobody gave a shit about me.
Yeah.
I mean, and when I said that glibly.
No, I know.
But what I'm saying is, yes, I know there's people right close to me in my life that care about what I've got going on. But outside of
people move on.
They really don't give a shit. They might hear something go, oh, that sucks about that.
Right.
But somebody you went to high school with, if they hear that you had a heart attack or something like that, and then somebody says, hey, did you hear so-and-so had a heart attack? Oh, that sucks. But 2 hours later, they're not thinking about your heart attack anymore. No. They're on to their own business.
Right, unless you're just that one layer, that one degree
right.
of...
You're real close. Right,
that's it.
Yeah.
But and by the way, I'm mad now. I'm going to leave because you and I don't agree.
Yeah, right.
I don't like you anymore.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Cancel me.
Yeah, that's it. All right. The Morath.
You could cancel, but you got the controls.
I can mute you, man.
I can sit here and do Babylon. I wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
You'd sit here and I'd be like,
oh, well. So, hey, Morath Orchard has revealed the 2025 corn maze. It's a pirate ship.
Well, it is
design.
private. You can't just show up. It's
That's
not
right.
public.
You got to pay.
Yeah.
That's it. You're expected to pay. But anyway, so at the annual Morath Orchard Corn Maze, it's about 20 minutes outside of town, or no, 25, probably 30 minutes. I mean,
depends on where you are. And
right. But it's just us. It's straight up 2393, and then a few little jogs.
Kind of north and east of Wichita Falls, depending on where you are.
So anyway, so they do this maze, and I guess this year it's a pirate ship.
The Morath Orchards, they've been an orchard for a family orchard for a long time. They do.
Yeah, they do beef. The family has beef. They raise cattle.
But since it's an orchard, their primary is peaches.
Well, right, but but that's also right next to where they do their dinners. They do these family dinners.
They do all that too, but their main thing is an orchard.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's how. And then they spun off on these other adventures, these other ventures. I'd say not adventures.
Probably a little bit of adventure too. But anyway, so but yeah, if let's see, you got a link on this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
I do show prep, man.
Yeah,
it's open. It's open Saturday, September 20th, which is tomorrow.
Yep.
From 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and the hours from September 25th to November 2nd will be Friday from 5 to 10, Saturday from 10 to 10, and Sunday from 2 to 6.
Oh, well.
And the cost for adults is $5. Hang on. Oh, I'm sorry. The cost for adults and children over 5 is $10. Children 4 and younger are admitted for free.
Okay.
With a paid admission.
Yeah.
So that's McGrath Orchard. I sent you a link.
But it was just the channel.
Oh, okay. Well, it may not be a.
Yeah, it wasn't any text.
I didn't know if you showed a picture of it or
no
not.
worries. All right. So that's happening, and that's going to go on when did you say the dates?
Starts tomorrow.
Starts tomorrow.
And it'll run through November the 2nd.
Okay. There you go.
So it's a fall. It's a fall project, and it's open on weekends, basically, and stuff like that.
All right. The Texas Commissioner of Education says he has 2 choices, and that's a local direct thing about our Hershey Middle School. And so we have to close it. He says or replace school board. You know about this, so
yeah. So Mike Morath, who's the commissioner of education for the Texas Education Agency, was here in town, and he was touring the school district. The Wichita Falls ISD has had some problems over the years, specifically with just a few schools. I mean, overall, the Wichita Falls ISD is very strong. And, they've got great schools. We've got 2 new high schools. There's a lot of neat things going on. We've had Donnie Lee in here several times. By the way, all this happened after I was off the board, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But so the school district's strong. But Kirby Middle School has had serious failure problems for a long time.
Okay.
And when you don't meet state standards for a period of time, you have to have intervening processes. And for whatever reason, and I don't want to blame anything, point anybody, but the school district has been really slow. They've done a lot of reactions. So let's back up. It's not like Kirby Middle School's been failing and the school district said, okay, you let them fail.
So it's Kirby, not
it's Hershey now.
Oh,
it was
okay,
Kirby Middle School for years.
There.
Okay,
all right.
It's not like the school was failing and the school district said, to hell with it. They marshaled a lot of resources over there. I don't know the numbers because I wasn't on the board, so I wasn't privy with the books. But they marshaled a lot of resources over there, but their attempts were unsuccessful. Okay. There was some progress made, but it wasn't enough.
Okay.
So then when the new schools opened up, Hershey High School, which is the school that Mike and I actually went to,
closed.
It was remodeled as a high school and was remodeled, and Kirby was moved there to Kirby Middle School was moved there. It still had problems.
Right.
Now this year, and we've talked about this with Donnie Lee, the school district brought in a outside firm that their whole mission is to turn around schools. Okay. And they have some success. They go, and like he told us, the students are still WFISD students. They're still assigned to that school. Right. But inside those school walls, this company, this educational company that runs these schools, they have autonomy. As long as they're following the TEKS, they're following all the legal stuff that has to be followed. They have autonomy on the way the education is delivered.
Okay.
And so Mike Morath came and toured that facility, toured some other schools, but he made a comment that the law is clear that when a school district fails, a school fails for so many years, there's alternatives. And there's 2 alternatives. One is either shut the school down or replace the school board with a board of managers.
Wow,
and the state basically comes in and takes over. Right. Oh, it happens.
I know, but it's just for one out of many schools. I
agree.
The district. Wow.
I think it's extreme.
Yeah.
I could see a state coming and saying, okay, we're gonna come over and take over this school.
Right.
But because of the way that the school systems, public school is set up, you can't do that.
Right.
So the state basically comes in and takes control of the school district. They assign a board of managers.
Right.
They're not elected anymore. They're assigned or they're picked, and they run the school district, and they'll get it. I guarantee the superintendent will go. Right. He would. I would assume. I say guarantee. I don't know that for a fact, but I would assume if the school board goes, the superintendent goes too.
Wow. Well, so I would, given what they're trying to do, and given that Donnie Lee is fairly new to the
about 3 years.
Has he been 3 years already?
Yeah.
No way. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
About 3 years.
Where'd all that time go? All right. Yeah. So anyway,
so we'll see what happens, but that's where according to the Commissioner of Education, he has 2 choices: either close what is now Hershey Middle School, or replace the school board.
Wow. Well, I would. Okay, if those are the only 2 choices, I would hope, given it's still 3 years coming in. That's a tough nut to crack, and the 3rd year here where if that's the case.
Yeah, but I think the theory behind this is, and once again, I don't want to speak ill because I'm not in the weeds on this.
Right.
But I think the theory behind that is, why didn't you do something earlier? Why didn't you bring this company in 2 years ago?
Well,
when you were going down this road.
Well, and I'm sure they've probably asked those questions.
I'm sure they have, but I think that's probably going to be the justification. If they replace the school board, that will be the justification is you have allowed this school to fail year after year after year after year, and you've not done anything to solve the problem.
Right.
And so from a from a educational standpoint, how many kids have you failed?
Right. Well,
that you are actually obligated to help make sure they get a good education, a quality education.
Yeah.
So I can see it both sides.
Sure.
But I also don't think it's fair for these students to be assigned this brand new concept of schools and stuff like that and then close it down like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Give it a
So
I mean
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
If I would say if it was my call and those are my only two choices, and I thought that Hershey Middle School was going fine, and understanding that I don't want to disrupt those.
What's the best for the students?
Those kids are already been disrupted like crazy. I mean, their lives have been disrupted.
Well, yeah, they had to move to a whole new building.
So I would say, do you do this over here? Like I said, I like Donnie Lee. I like some of the people on the school board. I'm friends with some. Some of them I don't know. It's not a personal thing.
Wow.
But if that's your if that's what your those are your choices. Those are your choices. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully.
So the next thing is TikTok. So
TikTok.
you know a little bit of this is
the technology side of things, on the social media. So making a deal. I guess they're. If you hadn't heard, U.S. has still been working on trying to figure out a way to get TikTok under U.S. control, U.S. Company control.
Which is the law.
Right.
By the way, which was signed by Biden. This was passed during Biden's administration.
Right.
And it was signed into law. And it was bipartisan in Congress. So we're not going to say it was Joe Biden, it was whatever.
Right.
But it was during the Biden administration that Congress passed a law saying that TikTok could not operate in America and be owned by a Chinese, controlled by a Chinese company.
Yeah, I still have some problems with some of that, but it doesn't matter. That's where we're at. So what are they trying to do? Is they're trying to work on a deal. And, And Trump's
put a stay on it because TikTok was supposed to shut down. Right. Was it in October?
Well, they started.
Year?
Yeah, that actually happened. And then
Or November? No, it wasn't October.
Yeah, whenever
it
would
have been after Trump was in administration. So it would have been like maybe earlier this year. But whenever it was, and it
shut down for a few days.
Right. And he wrote some sort of executive order and extended it and everything like that. Which, by the way, I do think is ironic because there's a lot of TikTok people that are into TikTok enough that hate Trump and think he's evil and stuff like that. Right. I didn't hear anybody come out and say, hey, wait a minute. He saved our platform that we really wanted. Right. He never got credit for didn't get credit for that.
So, anyway, they're working a deal let's see, 2 days of trade talks with China in Madrid with a tentative deal. So I guess they have yet to reveal the terms.
Well, I don't think Ping and Trump have met yet.
Right.
I think this is all their advisors, and they've got the framework for the deal, and they've signed a framework and all that sort of thing. What people don't realize, and I'm not in the I'm not an expert on this either. These high-level multi-billion-dollar and trillion-dollar deals, you don't just go up and go, let's make a deal. That's not how this works.
Oh, no.
There's so many levels of what's going on and how it's going to affect everybody and the logistics. Can you imagine the logistics of a multi-billion-dollar company that's housed overseas and having to be sold to a?
Oh yeah, I mean, logistically,
it's massive, and so you don't make these deals that just happen overnight. So everybody's got to slow down a little bit. It's not like buying a car, like where you go to the car lot and you shake the salesman's hand and let's make a deal and write a check or get it financed. This is massive. It takes a long time to do this sort of stuff.
Right. Well, especially if you're taking a headquarters. Well, I guess the company is technically operated as a company in the U.S. However, it has deep ties into China and as far as ownership. So I don't know how many. Maybe there's people who live here who are who might have been from China that are actually running things.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the problem is with Chinese law, and this is where I can understand this law being signed. By Chinese law, if it's a China-owned corporation, the government has the right to have full access to it.
Right.
And that's where I have a problem with it.
Right. Well,
so, whether you agree or disagree, and people, First Amendment, China doesn't look at First Amendment. They don't care what you think. So
and again, the First Amendment is just simply the government itself, our government.
Exactly, it's not private business.
to some extent, it can extend into it, but it's not as applicable to a private business as it is to a.
Well, since we're talking about the First Amendment, let's just open it up. Jimmy Kimmel. Mm-hmm. This is something that I've heard people complain about First Amendment. Okay, so Jimmy Kimmel was his show was canceled. Okay.
Yep.
Now, there's a difference between, because I started hearing people on the left say cancel culture. You talk about cancel culture.
Oh yeah.
Cancel culture was you did something in high school or 25 years ago, and somebody drug it up. Like, by the way, Jimmy Kimmel.
Or making a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. Jimmy Kimmel appeared on TV as Karl Malone. Now, people said that he was in blackface because he was painted black. He wasn't in blackface. Those are two different things as well. Just because somebody dresses up as somebody who's a different color, and they're doing a depiction of somebody, that's different than blackface. Blackface was from the old minstrel shows. That was a whole thing. But my point is, somebody digging up something that that happened years ago, and then saying, "Okay, this happened years ago, but now we're gonna zap you for it because the culture's changed."
Right.
That's cancel culture. If you say something in real time, and you are a company, you are employed by a company, and that company says what you said is bullshit, and we don't want to do it. We don't want to associate ourselves with you for advertisers. By the way, it's not because ABC or whatever cares about people. No. They don't care. They care about the bottom line.
Dollars, yes.
It's 100% on the bottom line.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of speculation that they've been looking for an off-ramp.
Okay. Well,
to get rid of this late night program because of what it costed everyone.
Well, right. Colbert, that's exactly what the deal was there. And he, his ratings were as good as they've ever been, but it's just too expensive.
But it goes back to, I've heard people say he can say what he wants because he has a First Amendment right.
Yeah.
Okay, he could go outside in the street and say what he wants to.
Right.
Because he has a First Amendment right. Or you could say it on TV. You could say it. But you don't have a right to the First Amendment protections from your company. You do from the government.
Yes.
Now, you can't go on there and say, I think whatever he said was whatever he said, and then all of a sudden the FBI rushes in and tackles you.
Right.
That's the government violating your First Amendment right.
Right.
But if a company makes a business decision and terminates you, they have a right. That's their First Amendment. They have a right to do that, just like the government can't stop them from doing it.
Right.
Companies do not extend First Amendment rights because your amendments do not come from the company; they come from the government.
Right. But we have to acknowledge, and we talked about this before we went live here. But the fact that it was timing that so he made this comment. Then the FCC chairman started saying, "Hey, maybe we ought to talk about taking ABC's license because we can do it the easy way or the hard way." And then they decide to suspend him initially, and then they decided to fire him. And so
is that the order it happened in?
I believe so. He was suspended first.
I thought he was suspended before the FCC ever got involved. That's the way I heard it.
Well,
that's the way I heard it. I'm not saying
yeah.
You may be right. I'm just telling you. The way I heard it was he was suspended before the FCC ever got that whole comment about the FCC came out.
Right. Well, there have been, or that might have been simultaneous. Then yesterday, Thursday, Trump on Air Force One was talking about maybe we should take the license away and all that. And I think we did.
And I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know. So, all right. So there we go. What we got next here? We got.
Okay. I got a prediction here. Okay. I got a prediction. And I made these predictions. I've made a lot of predictions on the radio, on the podcast, and stuff like that over the years. So, mark my words. Now, they don't always come true, but they do come true very often. My batting average is pretty high.
Okay.
Because first off, I don't make predictions that I pull completely out of my ass. I mean, it's based on observation. I'm a pretty good observation person. Because people sometimes go, how do you predict that stuff? It's like, I don't have powers of prediction. I have observation. Right. I use what I see, and then and my experiences, a little bit of wisdom, and a lot of logical thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I predict that within 3 legislative cycles, which is 6 years, this is for the Texas legislature, that public schools will have more authority and power to suspend disruptive students than they do now. And the reason I think that is because last legislative session, they put a little bit of more authority in place.
Well, with the cell phones.
Well, not only the cell phones, but also the Teachers' Bill of Rights.
Okay.
There's more. And teachers and even parents to some degree, parents of kids that aren't disruptive are really starting to speak out and going, this is bullshit. My little Johnny or little Susie, because it's usually Johnny who's being the little asshole. Let's be fair, right? It's not Susie. Little Susie gets her instruction is disrupted because little Johnny's a prick and can't be controlled. Now, I am all for this, and I've been saying this over and over. I'm not saying you throw the kid out on the streets, but I think what will happen, this is what I think is going to happen, the alternative schools in each district are going to grow.
Right.
And there may be some regional alternative schools. I think that I believe there's a regional alternative school in this area. Or there, at least at one time there was. Because if you're a little school district that has 50 kids, you can't really have an alternative school.
Right.
But I know there's regional alternative schools that school district says, okay, we cannot provide the proper services for this kid. They're too disruptive. Or they have severe disabilities, or for whatever reason, we have to pay this private school or this regional school to take them. And that's going to happen.
Okay. I
think it should be due process. I don't think it should be the principal just tells you get the hell out of here one day. But at some point, the kid is done. The teachers tried, the principals tried, the administration's tried, the parents have tried, or if the parents haven't tried, and this kid absolutely refuses to not be so disruptive in school to keep the other kids from being able to learn and to suck up all the time, I think that kid should be removed from the general school. It's almost, you hate to say it, but it's almost like prison. Yeah. Removed from general population. If you can keep your nose clean, you stay over here in general population, you can walk around, you can have a little bit more freedom. Right. If you can't get your shit together, you go over here to ADSEG. Right. Well, where we're gonna lock you down, and that's what those alternative schools are. Not to that degree, but they're a similar type thing. And I predict within 3 legislative cycles, because I'm seeing what's coming down the road, and I'm seeing people are fed up with it. Right. Parents are fed up with it. Parents of kids who aren't disruptive are fed up with it. Teachers are fed up with it, and quite frankly, we're getting to a point in our country we swung too far this way
to accommodate
everybody.
Even bad behavior.
And you can't everything. Yeah. You can't accommodate everybody. This is called a society. Yeah. And what society means is we have to accommodate the median. Yeah. And anything that falls outside the median is different. I've said this before. I've said it 100 times. When I fly, I buy 2 seats because I want to be comfortable. And, by the way, I don't want the person next to me. It's not fair to them for me to be shoulder to shoulder with them because of my big ass, right? Okay. So that to me, that's an accommodation that I must make. I don't have to, but I choose to make an accommodation for the betterment of the average person. Okay. And that's what society does. And we swung so far away, and we're swinging back to where we need to be, more attacked towards the middle, to where we want people to have individuality. We want people to have their rights and that sort of stuff, and to be some limited accommodations. But everybody can't be accommodated for every little tooth they take.
Right. Yeah. On that note, I don't know if it was real or not, or if AI generated, but there was some video showing these really big 2 people on an airplane, and they were being hoisted up to get on. Wow. I don't know if that's true or not. I just saw it.
Could be
just if you see that, question it and dig in if you care. I didn't care, so I just
anytime you see something that looks weird, you need to question it these days.
Absolutely.
There was a thing. I think we talked about it, where a reporter during like one of the White House gaggles said something about somebody throwing something out one of the windows at the White House, and Donald Trump goes, "Those windows are secured down." And they weigh like 400 pounds apiece. Yeah. They're bulletproof.
Bulletproof glass, yeah.
And they're like going, well, and there is, and he showed a video, and he said, it's AI. You got to be careful. Yeah,
absolutely,
and it says, and Donald Trump even looked at this and said, oh, yeah, I know exactly what window that is or where that is. He said, you cannot lift those windows.
Right. Well, and that's even probably a topic for a whole show, but all of this. Okay, even if it's not AI related, you can't believe everything. And in context, and I've been seeing all this crap going all over about Charlie Kirk and how bad a person he is, and then we've got the people who are, he was a saint, and and there's just all this going along, and objectively, he did not say things. One of the things that, and again, I'm not an apologist for Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie, my brain just lost his first name. But Charlie Kirk, I'm not an apologist in any way. I like a lot of what he said, no doubt. But one of the things that absolutely is, you had to understand the context. He did not say black women don't have the capacity, the mental capacity to handle whatever it was. That's one of the.
I hadn't heard that one.
He said, if you and again, I'm not an apologist, but if you understand what he said, two things. One, it was, who are the girls on the women on the View?
The View.
You had
Whoopi Goldberg,
right? And he named some of
Joyless Behar,
right.
Which, by the way, one of them's named Sunny and one of them's named Joy,
right.
And she is not Sunny and she has no joy.
I think he mentioned one of the women on there. I think he mentioned a couple of politicians. He mentioned several women that are on the Democratic or on the liberal side of things, and their names. And if you understand the context of the politics and also the bannering that goes back and forth in the world, that they said, what he said was that he was demeaning them as individuals because he doesn't agree. He thinks they have stupid ideas. Right. And so he was criticizing the ideas. And he said they don't have the mental capacity to blah, blah, blah. He did not say black women don't have, oh my gosh, that is disingenuous. It does a damage to your cause of people who are truly racists. And I'm not going to sit here, and again, I don't know every word that Charlie Kirk ever said, and I'm no way at all defending anything he's ever said. But in that particular case, and that's your example of it, you context does matter, and you can believe you can try to believe in your own mind, in his heart, if you want to believe he is a racist. That's your choice. I can't, but But based on that particular clip, don't use that as the of the deal there that he's racist. That is not what he said. And they show where Vice President my brain, a current Vice President J.D. Vance is talking about that. Now he said, "Oh, no, he did not use those words." Well, no, some of those words he actually used. So don't say that either. Just put it in the context that it was, show what he said and whatever. But I've seen there's so much of that. Again, I'm absolutely not going to defend anything. I'm not here to do that. But I am saying use your brain a little bit, really look at the context. And, so.
Well,
anyway.
a good way to do that is if you see something that you go, that's weird, you see a clip.
Exactly.
Go out there and try to find the minute before and the minute after.
Right. And we can argue about the particular idea of things, but whether that's right or wrong or whatever. But I'm telling you, there's a ton of this stuff that is taking. I really believe it's out of context. And there's all these people say that there's even the counter people are saying, no, well, if context, well, here, let me show you this, and they try to, and they just hit it hard and hard. And
well, also to me, I go back to my whole thing about passive and active racism. If you think that somebody says something that's disparaging to a minority, and they don't say all minorities, they say this person doesn't have the mental capacity, and your assumption is he means all of them, that means you're a racist because you're saying that this person represents everybody.
Right. And
they do not.
And that's what, if you look
They're
at
individuals.
Right. If you look at all these quotes and everything, they put in parentheses, black, and they put the quote at the certain place, they put a parentheses, try to give you context that all black women are this way. And also, I again, Charlie Kirk, I wouldn't even consider myself a fan of Charlie Kirk.
No.
I watched him over time, but I think it's and hey, give me comments. I think he's even being blown out of proportion.
Oh, I tell you,
his whole thing is all of this, and it's absolutely terrible. And I don't care if it would have been if it had been any other person that I totally don't agree with. I don't think they need to be shot. I mean, absolutely no. Don't even. I wouldn't agree to it. I would. That is absolutely terrible, no matter who it is. I don't care. It just.
But it's blown out of proportion. And by the way, he's one person.
Yep.
He does it. The reason he's gotten so much coverage, I believe, is because people know who he is.
Right. Well,
I'm just saying, fair or not fair.
Exactly.
Fair or not fair. That is kind of reality.
Right.
But I don't agree. I don't agree with it.
Right.
The fact is, that same day there was a school
exactly,
shooting,
and those
but
guys,
nobody knew who those kids were.
No, right, and that's like I said, that's unfortunate.
Very few people knew. Just people around them.
Right.
But people all over the world did not know.
We
those
don't
kids.
know any of the individual kids of any of the Columbine or any of these. And it does not seem to have the stay power because it has unfortunately become common to an extent, right?
It's really not, though. I mean, I hear people say that. That to me, common means it happens all the time. It does not happen all the time.
No. But even
you think about how many days. Hang on a second. I put this in context on the radio about 5 or 6 years ago, and I did some research. So my numbers are not. This is all off memory. Right. But I did the research. How many students in a 10-year period went to public school in America? In other words, every day.
Well, right.
Hang on.
Every
day.
Gotcha. No.
So there was 57 million kids. I'm just throwing some numbers out there.
Sure.
Went to school over a 10-year period. 37 were shot in a school shooting.
Absolutely.
So, which is horrible.
Yeah.
But do the math.
No.
When you had people I heard people saying, "I'm afraid to send my kid to school."
Well,
it's like
that's a
so because something happened somewhere else, and now you're afraid to send your kid to school over here. I mean, it just
right.
You got to use. I go back to logic. Use some logic, some correlation. I'll tell you another one. Do you remember there was a time in Wichita Falls here? We're going to kind of run long here, but Hastings.
Oh yeah,
there was a guy that shot some people at Hastings. Hastings was a music store, video store, and there was a guy that was shot some people at Hastings.
And they went over to the.
Well,
club,
I lived over by the base.
Right.
I was sitting on my couch, watching the news when that happened.
Yep.
And the local news reporter, Wichita Falls is gripped in terror as there's a shooter on the loose, and I'm going. No, I'm not gripped in terror at all. I'm sitting on my couch across town. Yeah. And by the way, if he shows up at my door, we'll have a shootout. But I go back to, that's what I'm saying is, so why would I go, oh my God, I don't ever want to go to Hastings because one time, I mean,
I know.
You think I go back to the math. And you know what? Sometimes bad things happen.
Yeah.
But we're all going to die at some point.
Sure.
And at some point, if you also, that's another one of my little Treyisms, understand nobody gives a shit. The number two second is, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that. Now, we want to make it longer. We want to live as much life as we can and all, but you're going to get it at some point by something.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
And when it's your time, it's your time.
Sure. Oh,
I don't believe in destiny. I'm just saying that things are going to happen. So, but the chances of your kid getting shot in a school or killed in a school shooting.
Oh yeah, it's
compared to how many kids go to school is minuscule.
Right. Well, it's like the same thing. People have okay, you have to identify. I want to be sensitive to people who are afraid of flying, but the statistics don't.
Yeah.
You're at much more risk driving in your car within 25 miles of your home, or something like that. It's
well, part of that is because that's the most common commute.
Well, right, but even given that context, it is still more dangerous theoretically. It's more risk by driving and riding in a car than it is to fly. But whatever the case is, reality sometimes airplane falls out of the sky, doesn't land well.
It's usually bad. That's the difference. Right. Is in a car, a lot of people have accidents in cars and live through it. Well, the majority, but the vast majority of car accidents do not end in a fatality.
Right.
But the vast majority of airplane accidents end in a fatality.
Right. Well,
the vast majority, not all of them, the vast majority of when airlines crash.
I don't know about that number, but
so you think that there's more people survive plane crashes than don't? Nowhere close.
Well, I don't.
No. I'm not talking about people that ejected in military planes. I'm talking about
I'm not,
that went to the ground in a plane.
Well, Well, I get
the vast majority.
I don't know. I don't know, but I just want to look at the numbers. I want to look at the numbers.
You tell me especially a airliner, how many people? When's the last time you heard anybody surviving an airliner?
Well, they
crash?
had that one a few this year or earlier that landed and it flipped over, and
okay.
I mean,
some of them did.
Right, but I'm not.
But the Twin Towers. I mean,
I've already. Now wait a minute.
It's an airplane crash.
Yeah,
the Twin Towers, Flight 83. I've already made my point. Just with those 3 flights.
No, I think that's
No,
that's an asterisk. Okay, I don't think that's the normal.
It's a death. It's a death in an airplane crash. Anyhow, the fact of the matter is, and I will look it up because I want to back my the vast majority. We'll look at FAA when airplanes crash, more times than not. People die.
We'll have to look at it because you have to look at that. You have to break that out because there are lots of first of all, there's a lot of emergency landings that we never hear.
That's
about.
not a crash.
Well, hold on. There's also sometimes you have to do a crash landing, and sometimes just an accident. Yes, and it for whatever reason they fall out and whatever. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not at all. I'm just like I want to know the number.
What I'm saying is the consequences. The reason people have a fear, and I don't have a fear of flying, but I'm just saying.
All right.
One of the reasons I think people have a fear of flying is because the consequences, if shit goes bad, it usually goes really bad.
Right. Well, yeah.
Whereas in your car, if shit goes bad in the car, most of the time you walk away from it.
Yeah. Well.
Period.
Right. Well, okay. Well, we'll look at that.
so let's go ahead and wrap it up. I guess we're not going to be. Dwayne's not going to make it.
He didn't make it.
Will you reach out to him and see if maybe get him
I
on next week?
texted him. Yeah, I texted him. So I'll get him.
See if you can get him next week.
Okay. Yeah, we'll check in.
Steve Garner's going to be with us next week.
Yeah.
And actually, with you, I'm going to be gone.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be here next week. So it'll be you and Steve Garner, and then hopefully you can get Dwayne.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and check on him. So anyway, all right, I guess what else we got here?
That's it. Let's just go ahead. We'll save that till next week.
All right. So I guess we'll just wrap it on up here. And nobody chimed in this morning, but hey, that's all right. Let me get my mouse pointer over here. So all right. So please join us next week. Again, we'll have Steve Garner and myself. He'll be off on as Mike used to say, a super secret squirrel mission somewhere. And then we'll be me and Steve, and maybe we can get our guest on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So go ahead and you go ahead and take that one.
And like our friend and radio partner Michael, I always like to say, we'll see you down the road.
You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.